Am I looking at the camera? Like death stare it?
Try your best. Pardon? Try your best to look at the camera. I mean, I'll be off to the side, kind of here.
Okay.
So like, yeah, kind of in this, kind of like this general area.
Gonna get lost in the lens.
What is up, people of the internet? My name is Avery, and I've just finished my second year of electrical engineering at UBC. But throughout my second year, I always wondered what second year was like for all the other engineering programs at UBC. So I reached out to a bunch of people, and in this video, we'll be covering almost everything you need to know before heading into second year environmental engineering. Timestamps will be in the description below if you want to reference certain parts of this video again in the future. And without further ado, let's dive into second year environmental engineering at UBC.
Hey there, my name is Caelin and I just finished my second year of environmental engineering at UBC. I think that was the only specialization I really connected to, and I was jumping between a lot of different ones when we had to write our letters, but I think, yeah, environmental, it's right up my alley of like sustainability and clean water, and I like nature. I'm a nature girl. Well, I took 6 and 6, but I didn't do the normal, like typical schedule. But in first term, normally you're supposed to have 6 courses, so that's ENVE 200, Civil 204, CHBE 241, Math 253. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Oh, never mind. 5. I lied. 5 courses. 5 courses, and then I think 6 in the second term. CHBE 241. So yes, that's the materials and energy balance course. So lots of chemistry. We learned about what's it called? Flow charts and mass in, mass out, streams. So many streams. But it was a good course. It's taught by Ali Reza, and he's a little sweetheart. He comes in with his little electric scooter, and then his sign off at the end of each class is stay curious, keep learning, and don't forget to smile. So that was a nice one. And then I think for lectures, we had an hour lecture Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we had tutorials for an hour once a week. And our if you get Guido as a TA, he's really fun, and he has great style. And we had 1 midterm, 1 final, and we had assignments and weekly readings using zyBooks, which is an online platform. It was really, really helpful. I liked it. It was a good way to learn because you had readings and like video introductions to different topics, and then practice questions, but you did have to pay for it. That was the only catch. But apart from that, CHBE 241, yay. Civil 204, I took it in second term, but from what I've heard in first term, it was a really good GPA booster. It was taught by Doctor, I think she's a doctor, Zaina. But they had bi-weekly quizzes. That was the only letdown, and they were super short. I want to say it's like 20 minutes in a 50-minute class, and then those ones too, I believe, were Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I don't think there were any tutorials or labs. But yeah, when I took it in second term, I did it with all the civil kids, and our prof was Troy Vassos, and he was really good. Those ones are 8 a.m.s though, so that wasn't great. There's also a final, no midterm because you have those quizzes, and I think that's it. Fluid mechanics, we also had quizzes for that course, and lectures. We had 2 a week, an hour and a half, I think, and then 2 tutorials a week for an hour. And those tutorials are really helpful because you go through practice questions or you go over the quiz answers, and then towards the end of the term, you do a big design project. So ours was on the Kalgoorlie pipeline in Australia, and how to kind of optimize pipe flow. The prof, Greg Lawrence, he's awesome, he's great. He'll do little experiments in class, and he's Australian, so you have the accent. So that just makes everything worth it. Yeah, that one was really nice, and a lot of different specializations take that. So there were ENVL, iGen, mining, geo. So that was a nice one to kind of see your first year friends. No midterms, yes, a final. Which was bad.
Oh, really?
It was so bad. It was, yeah.
Really?
Anyways,
This is really bad.
we can keep it at that. That was a good course. It's kind of AppSci 100, but specific to environmental engineering. It's taught by Susan Baldwin. You love her. The course itself, the content was good. We talked about the design process and feasibility constraints, solutions to environmental issues, and we talked a lot about like water, air, soil, I think pollution. That one we had lectures twice a week for an hour and a half, I believe, and then a 2-hour tutorial every week where we worked on our big term project. So our group researched an anaerobic digester in Fernie, BC. No midterms, yes, a final. We were supposed to have like 3 quizzes, but we had 1. So I think like the course itself was good. It was just a bit disorganized, and like, I don't know, she was supposed to take attendance every once in a while, but she only took it once. So then a lot of the weighting that was supposed to go to quizzes was just all shifted to the final. Or she only took attendance once. So if you weren't there for that one day, she took attendance. you just missed out on a whole bunch of marks. But apart from that, it's really good. And that was a nice course in first term to really get to know the people in your program, and you went on little field trips just within UBC. Like, it's not fancy. Yeah, Math 253 with Mark McLean and his little box. You'll learn about partial directional derivatives and Laplace, aphantasia.
Oh my god. Yep, well,
And his
whole
grandma.
Video, I have a whole video
But-
about that.
No, that was a good course. And yeah, 2 midterms and a final, and then online. CB 230 is using math to solve chemical and environmental problems. And you do all of those calculations on Python. So you get a teeny tiny crash course on how to use Python at the beginning of the semester. But yeah, so then we had lectures. It's honestly pretty painful, but like, it's okay, you can get through it. 2-hour lectures on Tuesdays until like 5:30 or 6:30. It was brutal. In the winter too, and it's dark when you leave the lecture hall. Oh my gosh. And then 2 hours of tutorial on Thursdays. Those ones were actually really helpful because the TAs were pretty good. Leao. Oh, she's so good. She dresses so well. She's so nice and smart, and you need to praise her, okay? Respectfully. Anyways, quizzes. We had quizzes at the end of the tutorial, so that was incentive for you to stay the whole time, because the quizzes are based on the tutorial and based on the lecture, which honestly I didn't see where it correlated that much. And we had weekly assignments. You're gonna get an assignment during reading week because our prof was like, that's not a break. I was like, I think it is. It's in the name. It's in the name, James Fang. Apart from that, he was a really good, he wasn't a really good prof. He was a good person. He was a good person, but he wasn't a great prof. Okay, midterms, we had 1 midterm and a final. And for the most part, it's like once you kind of get the hang of it, at least for the midterms, quizzes, and final, a lot of it is just copy paste from the example tutorials and example lecture notes. So just make sure you have all of those saved onto your Python on your computer, and then literally all you have to do for midterms and finals is just look for things and copy paste, or if you make like a big review. Also, okay, I'm talking so much about 230, I'm sorry. But last thing, because it's a 2-hour class and tutorial, we have a break in the middle where Move UBC comes in, it was so good. We would like get up and have 10 minutes to like dance or stretch. It was good. Okay, granted, there were very few people who participated, and a lot of them were ENVL kids.
Oh, okay.
But it was really nice because then you kind of just groove with
to,
her.
like, move blood around
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, so CHBE 244, Thermo 1. Yeah, all first and second law of thermo. We talked a lot about different processes like refrigeration and Rankine cycle. There's always a Rankine question on the final. Anyways, it's very chemistry heavy and calculation heavy. That one we had lectures Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an hour, and then we had bi-weekly tutorials that were 2 hours long. And it was interesting actually because those tutorials, if you went, they go through all of these, like a set of questions, but sometimes they finish and go through the whole question, sometimes they don't. But the idea is that you go in, you do these questions with the TAs, and then you take time after class to finish it, and then you could submit it by, I think, the next day, and you get a bonus point of like 1%. So then there's 5 of those tutorials, so you can get like an automatic 5% boost if you do all of those tutorials and hand them in. Savas, Professor Savas was our prof. I know, I've heard mixed reviews from him. I liked him. He seemed, okay, I told this to some people, but he seems like a person who would make good bread. He just gives off that vibe. Yeah. He seems really intimidating at first, but sometimes he'll crack jokes in class, or he'll smile and it's like, oh, he's just like a little old man. Midterm, yeah, we had a midterm, we had a final. For the final, I think there were 3 or 4 questions. One of them is always a Rankine, like I said before. He always usually tells you what topic the question's gonna be on, and then one question he like leaves out, and then that's way you need to still study. Anyways, that was CHBE 244. ENVE 201 was really fun. You wouldn't think so because it's technical communications. It was taught by Weaver, well, like Amber, but she goes by Weaver. And we did a hydroponic project. So that's growing plants without soil. So yeah, right? So we're doing like ENVL things. So it's, yeah, you grow plants with water and nutrient solution instead. So you start off as little seedlings, and then by the end of the term, you get like forests basically. But our group, like we planted cherry tomatoes, hibiscus, and basil. And the tech like how that comes in is that you do weekly progress reports on your system, because you design the system and then you actually set it up, and then you don't like build anything. It's kind of, everything's kind of pre-cut for you, but you still get the gist of it. And then, yeah, you do like grant writing, user manuals, business correspondence, which is literally emails. But yeah, so that's really group work heavy. But the course itself, it's easy, it's okay. And then no midterm, but there's a big like proposal and final report that you have to do, which is, you kind of work on it throughout the semester. So by the end of the term, you just compile all of the information. But yeah, and then there's a final, which is also really, like Weaver told us, she said, don't worry about it. She didn't initially want to have a final for the course, but she needed to. So she's like, I'm making this like as easy as possible. It was open resource, so you could use ChatGPT if you wanted to, because she was also just interested in AI. But that was a really good one. And then, can I get my samples? These are some of the cherry tomatoes. Yeah. Anyways, that's a fun little show and tell. Yeah, so ENVE 202, I'm taking it 3rd year, 2nd term, because I did a little bit of a different schedule. But they had lectures 3 times a week for an hour, and then a tutorial, I think for 2 hours, once a week. And that one, because it was also, there were a lot of group work that they did, I think. And then, so you could either use that time to do the tutorial, because I think they went also into the computer labs and used the software that we have here in the CHBE building. I think one of the activities that they had to do was do a little field trip like with their group to like somewhere to assess like environmental things in that area. But yeah, so the course is about chemical and biological processes and environmental trends and issues. Again, it talked about soil, water, and air, because when do we not talk about that in environmental engineering? Yeah, I can't talk too much about it. I think they for sure had a final. I don't think they had a midterm because they had quizzes, because it was taught by Professor Zaina again. So they had, I think, those bi-weekly quizzes. So no midterm, you're good. ENVE 203, I really liked it. The course was about, again, it's very environmental engineering specific. We talked a lot about different environmental problems. That was more the focus. So like what's going on in the world, what solutions are being implemented, what are researchers looking into. That course was really interesting because we had guest lecturers every week, because we had classes twice a week for an hour and a half, and for every Tuesday we would have a guest lecturer from like CIVL or CHBE, or from the city of Vancouver, or from someone in solid waste management, or there was someone in architecture who came in. That one was really cool because we talked about biomimicry. Yeah, it's really nice to see what else is out there, and instead of always thinking about engineering related solutions, and just being open to what else is there. We'd have like prep material to kind of go over before the start of the week. So it was either videos or readings or things like that. We had pop quizzes, which were fine, they're easy. If you go to class, she basically goes over the answers with you, and then you take the pop quiz, but you can like talk to people about your answers. There's 2-hour tutorials, and those ones, you're split into groups at the start of the year. And for those tutorials, a different group presents and leads the tutorial throughout those 2 hours and presents the topic that they were researching. And you have to, so that's a good way to practice time management and leading a group and leading a class, doing activities and keeping people engaged for 2 hours. I don't think we had a midterm, but we had a final and we had a term paper, and that one, it was about closing the loop on arsenic. So that was heavy. Like there was a lot of things to research, and I know a lot of people crammed it. There was also not a lot of, like, people weren't anticipating it to be that difficult, because they also had an ENVE 202 paper, the ENVE 203 paper, and the ENVE 201 paper. So by the end of the term, there's so much writing that you have to do. But I think that was it for ENVE 203. I did not like Math 256 at all. It was okay up until the first midterm, and then everything after was so bad. Because I had Steven, and he was really nice. He would answer questions, but towards the end, or I guess from the first midterm onwards, he would just fly through the course material. It was really bad. I used that course time to do New York Times games in class. I'm gonna be so real with you. I did not pay attention. I would write what he was talking about, and then I'd be like, okay, break time. Yeah, it was Fourier series and PDEs, ODEs, heat equation. That was really bad. But there's 2 midterms, one really bad final. It was so bad. That was the first time I cried in an exam hall after. It was so terrible. But I think from what I heard, there was so much discrepancy between sections, because one of the sections that was happening at the same time as ours, I think one of their averages for the midterms was an 80, and then ours was like a 60 something. So it definitely depends on your prof. And yeah, there's WebWorks, and then our classes were an hour and a half 2 times a week, but there's no tutorials or anything. For the most part, since environmental engineering is a small spec, everything's laid out for you, and you don't really have that much to choose from. Like the lab sections, there's only 1 lab in the week, and it fits everyone. So for courses, I mean, you could do what I did by taking CIVL 204 in second term, but then that means you have to take ENVE 202 in third year of second term. I don't really recommend that, but if it comes to that, it's okay. But I also know what people do. They drop CHBE 230 in second term and take it in third year. Like, I recommend to just get it over with, because at least you're getting it done with your friends, but that is an option. Don't go to academic services and ask if you can drop CHBE 230, because they'll be like, no, you need to take it in second year. What? No, yeah, just, if you want to drop it, just drop it and don't tell anyone. It was so much better. I think also it's just, I was more accustomed to university in second year, so I was able to manage my time better and keep track of assignments better. But for the most part, I did really enjoy second year more than first year. Because also it wasn't the 6 and 7 courses like in first year. It was what, like 5 and 6. So it was more manageable, but you still need to kind of stay on top of things. I can only think of Civil 204. But from experience, it's probably better to just take it in first term. Again, just to get it over with. And I think it was more of a GPA booster in first term than in second term. But apart from that, yeah, I feel like the courses that you take in first term sets you up for second term. So it's just better to kind of go with the layout of the program. There weren't for me, but I know people who took Math 253 over the summer, so that opened a spot in first term to do an elective. And a friend of mine in second term, he also took a technical elective in second term because he had taken Math 256 in first term. So I think it's more the math courses. If you're able to do them earlier, then that frees up a spot for tech electives or humanities. But apart from that, I think most people do it in third year. It's probably a good thing to learn a little bit of Python before you start CHBE 230. Review integration. or actually learn how to integrate. That's probably a better piece of advice. But I mean, I didn't do any preparation, and that's kind of a hassle. Like, you can figure it out when you're doing it. Yeah, so because I didn't do co-op or a disactive, because I like my Saturdays. Thank you very much. A friend of mine, at least in co-op, she said it was really helpful to find a job. I mean, it doesn't guarantee a job. I feel like some people think because we're a smaller specialization, that means there's more out there for us, but it doesn't guarantee anything. It definitely depends on the quality that you put into your CVs and your resumes and all that, and the amount of applications you send out. Yeah, it's kind of a numbers game, but if you have something on your resume, like I think she was saying personal projects, design teams, past work experience, that's all really good to help you boost your standings in the job process. So she was saying the co-op team was really helpful with organizing and communicating with different companies and scheduling interviews and things like that. And it's helpful if you want to apply to different jobs nationwide, or I think also internationally you can do that. But yeah, that was her experience on it. Okay, this is very general, but I know for me personally, when I was picking which spec to get into, and even when I did get into ENVL, you'll always have this kind of doubt that you picked the right program. And that's okay. I feel like if you didn't get into the spec that you wanted, I don't know, personally I feel like it's a good thing to just at least try it out, because you never know, you might find something that you enjoy about it. Really take advantage of the small specialization. I feel like that's always their hook, is that we're a small spec, you get to know everyone. But it's really nice to kind of learn from different people and yeah, interact with them and just be open to meeting new people and learning from them and not being afraid to kind of put yourself out there a little bit. Yeah, that's so cliche. MV 203. 230 or 256. Okay, this is specifically for my years in environmental engineering, but book a lecture hall. If you're gonna stay stay in the CHBE building, not after hours, but like just book a lecture hall to avoid anything. Yep. Yep.
Oh my god.
So silly. It's trees, 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 which is literally the same as geo, which is rocks, rocks, rocks. So it's, I hope we're gonna work on that.
Okay.
Greg. It's the Australian accent. Steven. I'm sorry. He was bad. He was bad. Bro, I wish we could have stayed in the volleyball intramurals without getting kicked out. And I wish we won champions because we were so close. We got so far with 5 players. Basically 4 because I'm so bad at volleyball. But they should have, yeah. I wish. Literally anytime our cohort was able to spend time together outside of class, we had a karaoke night or a hike at Lighthouse Park, or like just dinners that we'd have. Yeah, it's nice to get to know new people. No.
No? ENVE all the way? ENVE all the way?
Oh yeah.
And that's pretty much everything you need to know before heading into second year environmental engineering at UBC. I just want to say a huge thank you to Caelin for helping me with this video and for sharing her experiences in second year environmental engineering. Also, it was just so much fun shooting the thumbnail photos with you. As always, gently tap the like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, I hope this video brought you value, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Semester 1 courses done. Nice.
Mic drop.
You know, I realized that I totally did not intend to wear green today, but I actually ended up wearing green.
You're an ENVE by heart.
Which
That's
means
okay.
that-
Oh yeah, okay. Okay. I was like, is it gonna be like a green screen type of thing? Because
It's not. That's good. I want it back.
it's just like a head. Okay, some of the emails that people send are so bad.
I know.
Like what?
Nice. Can you bring it up a little bit? We can hear use the screen.
Because you're split into
Sorry.
you're split into groups. Just pretend that never happened.
All right. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.